Hi, attendees. Welcome to the University of Louisville Free IT Industry Badge webinar. We're so excited to have you with us today. I want to introduce to you Dr. Sharon Carrick. She is the Executive Director for the Center for Digital Transformation at the University of Louisville, and she is also Chair in the College of Education and Human Development. We'd like to give her a big round of applause. I know Sharon's got an enormous background in technology, and today you'll learn a lot just about how to obtain free IT industry badges through the center. Dr. Carrick.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'm glad to see you guys. We will facilitate by having in the chat room, if you have a question, just stop me. But I'm really excited that the university has invested in some free industry technology badges. And so you'll see in the chat room also a link to our website, or you can load it up now if you want to take a moment and you just go to louisville.edu for education, and then just type in digital transformation, and then you can click on that website, and that is what I'm going to share with you guys now and walk through how you can actually utilize these technology badges that we have curated here in our Digital Transformation Center. With that said, we have identified several different badges for us to be able to utilize. And can you all hear me still? Susan, you'll have to let me know. We have
Yes.
curated several different badges, and as you see from this website on your screen, again, just louisville.edu at the digital transformation/learn, with our primary partners in the technology industry, IBM, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and the like. So what I thought I would do is walk you through a couple of these and then take questions from you. But first I want to talk about some basics of what is badging and what are technology industry credentials. For each one of the technology vendors, such as IBM, Microsoft, Google, and the like, they each have their own level of certification and or badging. For example, in the IBM world, they have a practitioner's badge, that's like an entry-level badge, and then they have an explorer badge, which is like the mid-level, and then they have the professional badges. And again, what we've done is we've harvested these so that people can just go in automatically and click on them and walk through them to get their badges or their credentials free online. As I just mentioned, IBM has badges. Microsoft also has badges, trophies, and certifications. And so there is a difference between each level. And with Microsoft, all of their items that are listed under this clickable website are free, but you notice that I also wrote in there that they have certification exams from Microsoft. That is a direct cost from you, and they are usually around under $150, but you sign up for them directly with Microsoft. They are curated through Sylvain Prometric testing centers, and during COVID they have been doing some of them online. So that's kind of the highest level certification with Microsoft, but you certainly can get a badge and credential or a certificate, not a certification. I know those are confusing, just by clicking and walking through and going through the actual learning modules yourself. Then Google Analytics Academy, and Google announced this morning they're really working hard, I think A, to work with universities, but B, to become a university. And so they have, and I'll take you through some of their badges and credentials, but they have primarily certificates of achievement, whereby you'll go through the training and then you'll have to take a test online at the end and you pass it by 80%. But all of these, you can start and stop any of the modules and come back to them, and it makes it really convenient so you can add those to your resume. And when I say add them to your resume, these credentials, badging, certificates, and the like, are very valuable to employers because they want to know that you've gotten some training, that you know that you're a lifelong learner, that you can actually utilize some of these tools that we're working towards. Particularly, I see a big influx right now for artificial intelligence and analytics. Those seem to be on the hot spot right now. But as you'll see when I go through the other websites, and again, this is my home base right here, digital transformation site. And so when I click on any of these, I'll go out to the vendor site and utilize those things. Now, if you happen to be a student at the University of Louisville, and you have a louisville.edu email, you'll see below underneath cognitive classes and the Louisville Future of Work initiative, but below that you'll see that we have some other licenses of some additional things that you can get, but you have to use your valid university first name, last name at louisville.edu to get additional items, training, vendor training, and so on and so forth. But they are still free. It's not that you have to charge anything for them. But the ones up here, you can access anytime. You don't have to belong to the University of Louisville. You can send this website to your friends in Kuwait or California or wherever, and they would still be able to access that if you have friends or family that are seeking to get some of these badges and credentials. They can use this site free as well. So I'm going to stop there and just say, are there any questions, just the basic premise of badges, credentials, and certificates? Susan, you might have to help me just because I can't see the whole screen. No question?
No questions so far.
Quiet on the home front. Okay, that means everyone knows, or they're at least trying to log in so they can see this website. And we can also send this website out in an email to those that registered, so that you don't, again, it's very easy to find on louisville.edu. It's just digital transformation site. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and go into each one of these, and I'll just go down the list here. So the first one I'm going to go into is the IBM website. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to switch over here real quick to the IBM site. We'll be back in 1 second. Here it comes. Takes a second to load up. It's coming, I see it. Okay, hopefully everyone sees, I clicked on the IBM Skills Academy skills site, and now I'm showing you some of the credentials and badges. This is what a badge looks like. So if you are interested in learning about design thinking, and actually I recommend everybody take this one. It's about how to work together collaboratively and innovatively. It takes about 2 hours to get this badge. You get this actual emblem. I tell people after they do a badge, my suggestion is that you copy and paste it onto a Word document or onto your desktop. IBM will have it in your account, but I never count on the vendors keeping up with the badges. They do have them, and you will get a verification email from IBM that says your badge is ready to utilize, and it'll ask you if you want to post it on Facebook, show it off, if you want to post it in LinkedIn, and I do all those things, but I also encourage that you copy and paste it onto just a blank Word document so that you can always copy and paste it yourself onto a resume or somewhere else that you want to do, that you want to utilize that. So if I go through the list here, again, I might have a working in a digital world. So this one person, once you take this, how many modules, it's, you know, how some of the soft skills for IT are utilized. But then we also get down to the skills building academy, like the cybersecurity. That's also an important badge. Even if you're not working in cybersecurity, all of us that are touching a computer are actually in the cybersecurity business. If you've not been on a Zoom call lately where someone bombed in or jumped in, this is a pretty interesting concept. The data scientist function, this allows you to look at big data and start to get introduced. Now, once I click on one of these, it's going to come up with my login, since I'm already have an account, and it'll tell you what the skills are, the successful completion of that particular badge, so on and so forth. Data, you can click other ones that you want to do that are in that schema, if you will. Data science has Python and R programming, Scala, some of the most popular things that we are looking for out in the world today, that employers are actually looking for. Python, and then items with the cloud. I really like this blockchain essentials. If you know nothing about blockchain, this one's for you. It takes less than 2 hours and explains what blockchain is, how it could be beneficial to a business. It has really great diagrams that walk you through how you would parse out and how you would build a blockchain app. And again, these are just some of the ones from IBM, but there are, again, zillions of them out there. So I just wanted to click just to give you a sample of what they would be. People always ask me, well, which badges are better? And I say, really, it depends on what organization you will be working in. And so I would ask your employer or future employer, if you are in the Kentucky region, I'm going to tell you we're pretty heavily Microsoft dominant. So I will go to the Microsoft one in just a moment. But again, you can see the topics, the badges. I click on badges. Here's, again, additional badges. I could click through and get a whole list of more badges. There's probably, again, 500 or 600 badges just from IBM, and they're building more and more every day. Now, these are some of their more popular ones, but I could go in and search for a certain topic that I was interested in. Again, analytics, these are kind of their pillars that they have items revolved around. And so I clicked on the artificial intelligence. So here's artificial intelligence tutorial. Here's the badge collection. If I wanted to click into the badge collection, so I could see, maybe I just want to get an introductory badge. I didn't log in, so it's asking me to create an account. But here's a whole nother list of other additional badges. Applied artificial intelligence badge that you could actually utilize as well. And again, we are seeing more and more students embedding these badges into their degree. Something unique we are doing, and we just started it this semester, is we actually have 2 classes that walk you through. You have to get 5 badges in the introductory one and do an actual applied learning project with us. And then the second level is a more intermediate class, and it has 3 badges, and you pick the badges with the instructor. So if you want to do .NET development, or you want to do artificial intelligence, or you want to do cybersecurity, it doesn't matter. It's one class, but we customize the badges for the individual. That class can be taken as a 3 credit hour class as an enrolled student seeking a degree, or it can be a non-degree seeking student that enrolls and not towards a degree, but actually then you walk through and we work with you to obtain the badges, as well as foster the applied learning project, which is an experiential project, so that your employer can see that you actually know how to utilize these badges, in a real life scenario. I'm going to now move over to the Microsoft site. So give me a second here and I'll share the Microsoft site for us to look at. Just 1 second. And it's coming. So as you see in the Microsoft site, when we are welcomed, we see products, roles, can learn, certifications, browse paths, learn on your own. And again, I find the learn on your own are excellent. Again, you have to be self-motivated. This one, because I've used it quite a lot, I probably have 20 or 30 Microsoft badges just in the last year alone. But this is what you'll see is they will show examples. Here's a learning path. So if I wanted to learn analytic reports using Power Business Intelligence, that's what BI stands for, that's a 6-hour module. Now again, I could log in and come in and out. I could do an hour now, I could do 22 minutes. I can come in and out with my login and build a path to that badge. And then you see the difference with this one. It just says this is a module just to get you started, but it has suggestions of other modules that you can work through for credentials. And this one only takes 1 hour and 9 minutes approximately. Or if you wanted to just learn how to, an overview of analyzing, and again, it kind of just shows here's some of the ones that you might be interested, or here's some new ones that are up and coming. Or you can go up to the main menu and actually choose what kind of role you want to seek. Maybe you're a security engineer, so I would click in secure. Most people are working towards data analyst, so I'll go there, but I just wanted to show you that you could use any of these. A developer, and that's DevOps, that's a developer, writing your own code, writing apps, same thing for this one. An engineer versus a developer is someone that's coding versus someone who's designing. Or I could choose the data analytics component, and I'm just going to click on that just so you can see what the path, and it gives you, here's some things to get started with. So again, here are 6 different modules in the learning path. Again, those are all free for you to utilize. And then it takes you on to the next steps. Once I get through these, then what's next for me? And here's a learning path for the modeling data in Power Business Intelligence, visualize data in Power BI. And again, these are all free for you to work on. And then where it gets a next step is if you want to get certified, which is different than getting a badge. Remember, those are 2 different things. The next level, then you would move up to the certification items. And then these are the national and international tests. And this is how you would go through to download what are the certification skills, the outline to study, and then it would help you go through and build your profile. But then at the end, it would have you go take an online test to get those national certifications. So you see the difference between these kind of certified credentials versus the badges type credentials, which again are, I'm going to say, more self-paced, and again, you still have to take the test at the end, but you're on your own devices to do the test, and you have to pass it at 80%, but you are able to take those tests over again appropriately. So this gives me, again, what learning paths that I might want to be, what schedule I want to be on, what role I might need, or maybe again I have a certain product that I want to look at. So it outlines very clearly what I want to do, and where I want to do it. Whereas the IBM one is a little bit more, you have to kind of hunt and search for some of those things to figure out how do I work through them. Any questions about Microsoft certification? Quiet bunch here today. I can't see you guys, so making me challenged. Does anyone have certification that's in the audience? None? 0? Well, it's a great way. Again, you make a plan along with not only your degree, but you might be an MBA graduate and haven't been looking at artificial intelligence, and now you're a supervisor or a manager, and this might be something that you need to look at, not because you're going to be an artificial intelligence certified engineer, but you might want to explore what are some of the things that you can do with artificial intelligence. And so these are great learning paths for getting started with artificial intelligence, and Microsoft's platform is called Azure with artificial intelligence. Or maybe you want to learn how to create intelligence bots, and this one shows a simple overview of how you would create the bots. But again, you see this learning path takes you through each one of these, and then for you to get a badge or an appropriate level, you'll take a test at the end. So you see how short they are. But once you click in them, they'll lead you to a next path or a next issue or a next step for your learning. And we've just found them to be tremendously helpful. And again, we're embedding them in a lot of our classes. Dr. Benapude is the president of the University of Louisville, and her goal for 2021 is that everyone will graduate with a badge, at least some kind of badge or technology credential. And as I mentioned, those two classes we can put a link to. In those, we actually pay for your certification exam when you're in that class. So that does, yes, you have to pay tuition, but it does save you because you walk through the certification with us, and then you do an applied project, and then you take the exam through that class as well. And you can take multiple exams. So you might take a class and get 3 certifications. Again, just depends on what level. Okay, quiet group. We've done a lot of these, so if there's no questions, I'm going to move on to one of the next ones. So we've done IBM. We know how to get started with them and their paths. We've done Microsoft. We know how to get through their badging, credentials, and menu, and again, all through the digital transformation website. And then the last one that I wanted to show today, or well, we can look at others, is Google Analytics Academy. And these are all free, and I can't show my certificate on the screen very well, but you actually get a printout of a hard copy certificate, as well as I always encourage people to copy and paste the actual emblem that you get once you pass these onto a Word document, as I mentioned before. But basically, you could go through all of these levels, and even if you're a beginner in analytics, this is often where I tell people to start. Again, even if I'm an MBA or a senior manager, and I just need to get a good feel for an basic understanding, not because I'm going to be a programmer, not because I'm going to be an analytics data scientist, but so I can communicate well with my colleagues and people at work. What are the things I need, and how might we go about getting that, harvesting that data, parsing that data, reporting that data, making a queue, and this one makes it really easy to walk through. And so basically you just click on the one, you'll sign in. I haven't signed in. You'll have to register with your email account. And I didn't sign in this time, but I just wanted to show you. So it tells you why data analytics, how to navigate data analytics. Again, maybe you even want to send this our digital transformation website out to your employees and have them get some certifications. Again, it's free, so you don't have to have them register through U of L or anything. If you want to do free, you can do that. But Susan indicates to me that there's a question. If you'd be so kind to let me know what that is, please.
Yeah, Dr. Carey, there's some questions running through the Q&A chat, rather. One question for you specifically. Let me run it back down really quickly. Sorry about this.
That's okay. I'm not multitasking, so that's why I'm asking.
This individual asked about trophies. Good afternoon. Does the trophies also show just like the badges and hold the same weight?
Now, excellent question. Yes, they show just like a badge, like an emblem. However, they don't carry as much weight because, as you saw, they were like an hour, 2 hours. So usually you have to go through a series of trophies, like a path, to maybe get 5 trophies to then take a badge test for a certain path. Great question, and it's very confusing. So trophies are at the lowest end, then you have badges, certificates, certification, highest end, because that's a global test whereby you are monitored on that test. You can't have open book or anything, and it's done by Prometric, Sylvain testing centers, sort of like when you take a GMAT or a GRE or pilot's test or one of those kind of tests. it is monitored separately. So trophy is like the entry level that builds up to a badge. Badge definitely holds more weight because you have to take a test online that you're not monitored, so you're left to your own devices. And then certificates, and then certifications at the highest level. Great question, thank you.
And Dr. Carrick, another question.
Sure.
Do the badges help to get you hired or just the certifications?
Well, I'm going to say both because it depends on where you are in your career. If I was interviewing some folks, and Susan knows my story before coming to the University of Louisville, and I've been here now 18 years. So I was one of the founders of a technology company that we had for almost 20 years, and at our largest point we had about 340 full-time staff. And when I would look at a resume, you know, there's one thing to have experience, but there's another thing to have some credentials. And so to answer your question, the highest level credential, the certifications, certainly hold more weight. But if I saw that you were working on badges on your own, I would give you big points, pluses, because it shows that I don't have to pull you along in my organization, that you're a lifelong learner and that you care about fashioning your career, that you're going to do things on your own, that you're self-motivated and inspired to get multiple badges, to work on your own, to work towards another, you know, another level of competency. So that's the differentiator that I see on a resume is, again, this person has a resume, they have the same skills as you, or not skills as you, and both are looking the same. Well, wow, one of those emblems, a badge on there, I'm thinking, wow, this is a self-starter. You know, I don't have to babysit this person. They're going to move forward on their own. And then a lot of times you can negotiate with an employer if they want you to get a credential. You can negotiate with them for them to pay for the $100 fee. Not all of them are $150 test fee. Some of them are less than that. But that would be a strategy I would use to differentiate yourself in the marketplace on your resume and on LinkedIn. You can post your badges, and again, it just shows you're a higher level achiever, that you are taking your career seriously, and that you are working towards moving up, you know, in knowledge and skills.
Dr. Carrick, another question for you.
Sure.
Patrick, will it be necessary to routinely recertify if I pursue any of these certifications?
Yeah, well, yes, because technology changes. So when Microsoft changes, like their security certification badge, they have new products that come out, but they will give you a heads up. The certifications are around for 5 to 7 years, but then when they have new products out, they have new features and new loopholes. If you new things, they'll want you to retest. You don't have to though. I got my SQL certification. I was going to tell you when, but it was a very long time ago. So I'm going to say, oh my gosh, 30 years ago. And for me then to be certified now, I would have to recertify. Well, there's been updates to the product, to SQL product, that I probably don't know how to use. So the answer to the question is usually it's about a 7-year window for certification. And you don't have to recertify. It really depends on what your career trajectory is and what your path is that you want to do.
And Dr. Carrick, one other question that's more military centric. Matthew asked, for military, is there options for deferring cost for the MS certifications?
Well, I know we have, if you're enrolled in our U of L class, I know those certifications are paid for military. I don't know in the general public. I honestly don't know, like general across the universe, but if you just Google on Microsoft's site, I know they also have $15 certification exams right now for if you've been impacted by COVID. You know, if you're unemployed or underemployed. So that $15, I was just hitting up our Microsoft rep the other day, asking, well, why can't we give that to all students and everybody? I will also let you know that we just got a national security grant. This may or may not relate to what your individual interest is, but in the next fall, we'll be rolling out a 6-month cybersecurity certificate that has artificial intelligence embedded, Microsoft certification embedded, and 2 others. I can't remember off the top of my head. Data analytics, of course. So the answer to the question is, if you took the U of L class that I was talking about, yes, this Microsoft certification exams are paid for in that class. But if you're not in that class and you're just taking them through our digital transformation website, I don't know, but I'll find the answer and I'll put it on our digital transformation website, because I know we have a lot of military constituents throughout U of L. So thank you for bringing that up. I've got it on my notes.
Oh, excellent. One other quick note. It looks like this individual just put in CompTIA certifications. So I'm not sure if they're asking if CompTIA certifications are on this platform or not.
There are some that are on CompTIA. CompTIA, though, there's a charge for them right now. So you'll see that this site constantly changes. So we've been negotiating with CompTIA for Project Plus and their A+ hardware certification and so on and so forth, but we don't have our agreement in place yet. We're close. You're going to see Adobe come soon, and Amazon has some AWS cloud certifications, but I don't have CompTIA today. So you'll have to use CompTIA through their system.
And the 2 classes that you referenced, you are speaking of LEAD 256 and LEAD 257, correct?
That's correct. Then both of those are through the College of Education, and again, you can take them as non-credit. I have a PhD student in my class right now in one of those classes, what he wants to do is try to get more of the artificial intelligence certifications, because he's a speed engineering PhD. So he's taking the class because, again, it's customized to the certifications that or the badges that your path is desired. So it's not just a generic class, one size fits all. It's more that we work with the individuals so that we can lay out a path and get them where they need to go. And then in tandem with them, that which is really critical is put them on an applied project whereby they can try out their skill and ensure that they have some competencies to utilize that particular knowledge and skill. Love CompTIA. I've got probably 5 or 6 certifications from there as well. And throughout my lifetime, again, you heard, since I had a technology company for 20 years, Cisco certification, Microsoft, IBM, I mean, all of those. I'm one of those people. I love technology, and so I want to keep learning and infusing that into everything that we do. And in the next 2 to 3 years, all of us are going to see quite a change. All of us have to know some analytics right now, and all of us will have to know a little bit about how bots work in artificial intelligence, and probably all of us will need to know a little bit about security. If you've been on any of these webinars and somebody's jumped in who doesn't belong, believe me, that's a security issue. And again, just being alert and knowledgeable about what you can do to remedy some of those situations really doesn't take a college degree to figure it out, but it does take a little additional training. Okay, any other questions on Microsoft, Google, artificial intelligence? I'm going to head back to the home page and our digital transformation website. Oops. So that's really as easy as it is. So I'm not going to take the full time if we don't have any questions, but I'm certainly open to answer any other additional questions that you guys have or that you're challenged with as you're trying to move through. On this site too, we're going to add a news and event section where we're going to start publicizing more of these kind of learn type of situations where they're free, and then we can walk you through a more specific thing. This was just a general overview today so that you'd know where this site was and you could share it with your friends, families, workers, colleagues, it doesn't matter. And again, we're not capturing any data from you or soliciting you. We are just trying to provide this community service. And we've partnered with a lot of chambers and different entities. And if you live in Louisville, you see the Future of Work is an initiative that we've worked on primarily to look for and work towards these. We actually have scholarships that are for just training, not for credit classes that are listed under there as well. But you'll see this, we add more and more free things. And again, I can't emphasize enough, if you are a Louisville.edu, doesn't matter what program you're in, but you can log in for more free resources if you have a Louisville.edu account. But there's plenty to go through if you just log in just regular. Your regular login. You don't have to have a Louisville.edu. You could have any email, Gmail, whatever situation.
Sharon, for those that might be new to badges, would you give an example of how much time it takes just to complete one of the free badges?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite ones that is a quick, easy start is the Design Thinking Essentials badge. And I just clicked in here so that we could see. I just clicked on the IBM one. I went to badges. It takes about 2 hours for that particular one. And again, it's so generic, that particular badge. It's, I'm just going to click here to jump on it. But it takes 2 hours, and it kind of gets you started with, you know, what can I do? How can I do it? How does it work? But I would just key it in here. I'm not going to log in because then all my badges and all my screens will then go customized for me. But look how many badges there are. You see I'm located at the bottom of the screen. It says show all 444, or 441, excuse me. And I could just keep going on and on and on. But you could type in Design Thinking or just type in free badges, free Design Thinking. That one takes about 2 hours. Oh, because I've completed it, that's why it doesn't show up on mine, sorry. But I could just click on badge like you guys would and bring it up. Also, so that's one for IBM. Another one that I would recommend would be over in the analytics. I would encourage everyone to take the Google Basic Analytics right here. It takes, gosh, less than 2 hours. It has the video for you, and then it has the learning modules, and then you just click through next, and you go. These become live once you have an account. You just click on these links. Because I've already done it, that's why it's dimmed out. But you just click on these links, and then you go to course review and next steps, and it'll take you to a little simple exam. So that's where I would begin on those is, again, Design Thinking. We can put it in the chat room or we can email it out with the link. And then the Google Analytics would be one as well. And last but not least, again, I think having a variety, you know, I would definitely do one of the Microsoft ones. And again, they're very easy. Let me go back to the Microsoft site real quickly just to show you how easy it is to bring those up. So again, I just went back to Louisville.edu. I clicked on digital transformation, and now I'm going to go right into the Microsoft site. Well, I hit learn, learn, but even if you hit home, it'd take you there. And so I'm going to go into Microsoft, click learn, and I can browse the paths, or maybe I want to type in badges. Try to see what are some of the badges that I can go through, and again, it'll list all the different badges and the learning opportunities that you have. With Microsoft, I really like the browse paths because it harvests them for you. Look how many they have, 1,726, but it harvests a filter for you. So that would be my tip on that one, is to choose the learn path. And that was just off the main site. So I just clicked on Louisville.edu, I clicked on Microsoft, it took me to this screen. I click browse all paths, and then I can pick which path do I want. Am I interested in being a .NET programmer? Am I interested in artificial intelligence? That's their Azure platform. Dynamics is their business platform for like accounting. Dynamics is your remote 365, the Word, Excel, so on and so forth. And then you have Office down here. So there's a variety of different paths that you can pick. So you see how this module's deploying Microsoft Teams. It's only 19 minutes. That's why it's just a module and it's just a trophy. Whereas the learning paths will take you to several different things, and so you'll get step by step, see how it curated all these for us to do, and then brought up the next one you would do and the next one. See, the learning path takes you, through the whole series. I know that's a lot to take on, but think of just one that you want to do. Again, maybe a Microsoft one, just because I'm sitting right here. And again, that's an easy one because I just click on Learn and then choose which path I want. Browse a path, pick a path, and again, here's the paths over here. Or maybe you don't really know what path you want. You see, I might have SQL people on there, might be Windows. Maybe I just go down and pick which I want to do administration, or I want to be a business analyst, or I want to be a data analyst. Then I just click on that and boom, here comes all the ones curated for me. 61. So you don't want to look through 1,761. You want to use that learning path to select how you would move through. And then you can even pick which level. So here I see Power BI. These are all the analytics ones. And you could start, and again, these tell you roughly how long they take. Again, know the difference between a trophy and a badge. A badge is at a learning path level to curate that. Honestly, if I can get you to this point, you take one or two. I have people taking 10, 12, 15 of them because they're quick, easy, and they're building their skills and their resume.
So Dr. Carrick, it sounds like too, we have another question. Does the LEAD courses require enrollment in a degree or certificate program and require tuition?
The LEAD program, you can be in a non-degree. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I have a PhD and they're getting their PhD, but they're not in a program per se. Yes, they cost tuition. If you're military, there is a special military rate for tuition. But yes, the courses at University of Louisville that have the applied learning knowledge and the instructor-led class online is tuition-bearing classes. But again, you could have your MBA and you can come back with your MBA and take those two classes as a non-degree seeking student. Mm-hmm. So you would enroll just in those two classes, period, nothing else. But yes, it would cost you tuition. And I do have some folks in class this semester, and one of them has their MBA actually, because I taught at the business school for 15 years teaching MBA. And so I recruited one to that, and his employer is giving him tuition remission because the employer wants him to get the certification.
And Dr. Carrick, with the two LEAD classes, those are really very, very instructional, hands-on. Students are guided through the pathways.
That's right. It's instructor-led, guide you through what your path is. In fact, we curate the path with you. So if you say artificial intelligence, then I go through and I build it out for you. And then I work with you each one of the modules. And then when we do the prototype, so if you're building something in .NET or if you're doing something in artificial intelligence, then you build a bot or you build a prototype and I'm working with you. You have to actually apply the knowledge. You're not just answering the questions like you would in these modules. Like test questions, like generic test questions. You have to actually do an applied experiential project in that class. So I appreciate all the questions, and I'll encourage you guys, if you get stuck, let us know. But again, pretty simple. If you can at least just go to the website, click which one you're interested in pursuing, and then, like I said, the Microsoft one already has them kind of put together, curated together. look, you can see my Azure. I have a IBM Train the Trainer Artificial Intelligence certification. So I wanted to also get the Azure Artificial Intelligence. You can see here it tells I'm only 26% finished with it. I haven't had time to fool with it, but that's another nice feature with this one. Again, any of them, you can come back in and out because you have your own account with these vendors. Okay, well, if there's not any more questions, excuse me. No more questions, Susan?
Hey, not at this time, not that I'm seeing pop up.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I thank you all for your attention. As we say, is no reason to keep you 15 more minutes for me chattering on if you don't have any questions. I'll linger on here for the next 15 minutes if people want to hang around and ask, a more individualized question. Again, watch for that site, bookmark digital transformation site at University of Louisville, because we'll be adding more and more webinars on all different type of technology. The next batch, what we'll be doing is adding events whereby we are walking you through the actual product. Here's a kind of a step-by-step, here's how you do this type of thing, and trying to introduce kind of some hot topics of new products and services that are out there from a multitude of different vendors, because as we all know, technology changes every day, and so we want to try to arm our community and support people to get these and get armed with being knowledgeable about what the next step is in the future of work. So with that said, I'm going to adjourn us. So feel free to log off, or you can stay on and ask a more direct question or individualized question. But thank you for your attention. And now we just gave you 15 minutes of your day back. So deep breathing is the next thing. Stand up, stretch.
So Dr. Carrick, for those that are still remaining, there was one question. They wanted the full names for lead 256 and 257. So I went ahead and updated the chat with Tech Industry Badge 1 and Tech Industry Badges 2.
Yeah, and so if you go to louisville.edu and you look under academics for classes, we might have to give them that path so they can see what it is. Or you can always contact Susan or I if you want to see more about it or get the syllabus.
Yes.
And I always have special guests in that class too. I have our Microsoft global rep coming in to talk to the class online, and IBM, of course, and Google, because I want our people to make connections with those higher level vendors as well. Susan, thank you for moderating. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And when you're ready, Sharon, we can end the session. I can do that for you, or you have that opportunity when you're ready.
Okay. Well, I'm going to end, but I did see someone asked if it was recorded.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can send that link out to everybody with the lead 256, 257 link as well. Cool. All right. Thanks so much. Are we the last? Everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Carrick.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great day. Bye.